me just be honest with my life. I've smoked since I was like 15. No. Had my first cigarette at 10 and started buying cigarettes when I was like, I guess 16, because all my friends were 18 and I had a job. So that's really when I started smoking full time. Yes, I'm gonna work in my pajamas. And, yeah, I grew up in a house full of smokers, and I already smelled like a giant ashtray, so what's the difference, you know? And that's the biggest regret of my life. Rufus. He's doing some maintenance. Oh, crap, I don't have the internet. Connect automatically. This is a problem with moving back to a small town. Yes. Okay, we're connected. Hopefully. Let me cook it. I have a lot of work to do. So, anyway, that's why my nose is red, because I just went outside to smoke. Which is not exactly good. I need to be waiting as long as possible when I wake up in the morning, because it's like I do really good for like a week or a month, and then I do really bad for 3 months. So, tips on quitting smoking would be great, y'all. Because, you know, I do meditation and work out sometimes, but I'm not a super motivated individual. So I'm writing in my clock in time because I never come in at the same time or leave at the same time. Honestly, I'm a pretty bad employee. Okay, calm down. 8:01. I think it's just, like, I was pretty good at, no, it's not true. I was never good at being on time to work. I used to be at the bank. And then I met my husband, and marijuana is legal in Colorado, where we moved. And then I was late for work. I was late for everything after that. It's just kind of like, we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, that's like, honestly, it's my family motto anyway. So I guess it makes sense. But I would like to quit totally. Because really, my lungs, I'm 31. My lungs, my skin, my heart, they all need a break from smoking. Because that's the cough I have. Alright, reading an email. Let's tell my team good morning. Sorry, I'm so distracted, y'all. Good morning, Robert. He's always the first one in, and never late, even though his life is probably harder than mine. He has really good coping mechanisms. So yeah, my coping mechanisms were learned, and they were smoking, drinking coffee, doing everything for everybody else, but never taking care of you. And I know there's been a lot about self-care lately and how important that is. And I mean, it sounds really selfish, but it is important. You need to take care of yourself. And I need to quit smoking. Life goals. So, I have quit for like a month or two randomly over the years, off and on. And like, even with my mom battling lung cancer, and she had quit smoking like almost 10 years ago. and still ended up with it, you know. And she was just like, "Why are you still doing that dumb shit?" You know, which just makes you mad, kind of hard headed, like her. I was like, "I'll quit when I want to. You make me want to smoke," which it's not her fault. I just didn't have good coping mechanisms. I'd never been a care provider before, and so first of all, and I don't have any medical background, so there's that. And then there's the toughness of our relationship. It was always hard anyway, and our relationship had gotten so much better, and then here I am. Now the tables have turned. Like, I'm the one making the decisions, even though she's the parent, and that was a struggle for both of us. You know, telling your mom you can't have ice cream, and then, you know, because my main mission in life was to make her better. Sugar feeds cancer. We're gonna get past this. So it was very hard on her about her diet, and it was just stressful, you know, especially when you realize that you were hospice all along. Like, if I'd known that I was hospice, I would have let her do whatever she wanted, you know. We would have been on a lot more adventures than we did. A lot less arguing. But the hope for tomorrow, I guess, kept her going. I mean, because of COVID, only one person got to be with her during her bad news meeting. And when they came out, my brother told us what was said, and my aunt and I just immediately started bawling. You know, it sounded like this is the end. And he's like, no, that's not what he meant. He meant if she doesn't get treatment, she's not going to live past that 12-week point. Like, she has to have this treatment. And the treatment seemed to be working. And we all had hope in that. And Mom was tough cookie. Like, I'm literally watching my uncle go through what she went through. And it's like the attitude difference, the strength, the pain tolerance. Like, no offense, guys, but women are just really, like, really tough. Oh, my boss is here. Baby face. Internet issues this weekend. Catch up to do. Adding those 4 hours to the end of each day. Snap. I'll split up those 4 hours to add to the end of each day. And get myself back. I don't want to say caught up again. It sounds dumb. Like sweaty. Okay. Good morning, Tara. I had internet issues this weekend and have a lot of catch up to do, comma. Let's make a little face. This is a problem with being stoned over the weekend. This is a problem with being stoned right before work. I'll split up those 4 hours to add to the end of each day and get myself back on track. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so talked about smoking, talked about cancer, talked about how resilient women are. Honestly, I don't know if it's all women. I think it's mothers. It's like something about having other people who need you. It gives you a different kind of strength. And like for my mom, you know, a lot of people depended on her financially, emotionally. You know, she did a lot. And I was always the least dependent on her because our relationship was always hard. And it was like, you know, I just wanted her to be my mom, like be my friend, and not, I don't know. It was almost like she didn't feel like she deserved to be my mom. And I'm sorry I made her feel that way. But I got a lot of processing to do. And like I said, I am on my period, so I'm a little emotional and all over the place. And I'm high. So there's that. But I miss her. She used to smoke like 3 packs a day. I mean, to be completely honest, she went through 3 packs a day. But she had like an ashtray on every counter in the kitchen, like every couch and chair had an end table that had an ashtray. Like mom was she was a full-blown smoker. So she'd light up a cigarette and start a task and set it down, and go in the other room to do something else and light another cigarette and set it down. Pretty soon they're all like burn out in the ashtray and mom's out of cigarettes. She really inspired a lot of what us kids want to do with the farm, and that was kind of a big deal about like not knowing it was the end but having that hope, because mom wanted us to all do this together, you know. And she actually financed the initial gardening. This spring and summer we put in the big garden. Mom bought all the vegetables. That picture I showed you earlier, I think, was the shopping trip that day. She was very excited. We all were. It was a beautiful day. But then when my brother came to visit, he told us about the cardboard gardening, where it's like a no-till. And hopefully it behaves itself today. Anyway, so it's a really cool process. It's like, I mean, of course you have to, we already tilled it, so it doesn't matter. But we raked it flat. There's no rows. And then we laid cardboard down on top of it, most of which we got from like the dollar store. I think it was Family Dollar. And what else? Oh, and then you just lay mulch over it. Like weigh the whole thing down with a layer of mulch. Water it really good, keep it soaked. And then you just kind of cut holes in it and dig a little hole and put your plant, and then kind of brush your mulch back around it. And that way, you know, because we're like, our herb garden was straight out of a pasture. Like flowers, wildflowers grow there, different kinds of grasses, weeds, like everything. Our yard is pasture. And what am I doing? Anyway, that'll keep all the stuff from sprouting up through it. And like I'm moving, I usually am kind of particular about my nails. Like, this is so ugly. And I usually wear a lot of rings, and I used to wear makeup. Now I'm just kind of like, whatever about that. But oh, Mom bought fruit trees, and why am I clocking in? I'm so dumb. She brought a lime, a lemon, a grapefruit, 2 oranges, 2 more olives to go with her mature Mexican olives, so that's 7. Then she had gotten 2 more baby Vitex to go with the 2 that are already in the driveway. And 2 kumquats. Oh yeah, all the mulberries. She bought like 5 mulberries, so that's like 17 trees. Then Kimmy planted 4 plums, so that's 21. She let me pick out a tree on one of our shopping trips, and I didn't even know any of the medicinal stuff for it, which is super cool. It's like kind of like God was involved in the whole thing, because a lot of the stuff we planted turned out to be edible, like accidentally. So Mom let me pick out a tree, and I saw this beautiful, delicate, like, I mean, it was only like this big around, and it comes up, but it's taller than me, and it's a little pot, and it only had like 3 or 4 main shoots off of it, but each of them had like the little frondy leaves, and I was like, it's so soft. What is it? It almost looks like a fern. It's a mimosa tree, and they're cute. They attract hummingbirds and have big poofy pink flowers. And why don't I know any of this cool stuff, you know? So it was like Mom was getting me into gardening. Kyle was already really into like the alternative housing movement thing, like earth ships and living in the ground. That didn't sound very, I like those ideas, don't get me wrong. I didn't actually do all the research he did. Oh, I guess I have to change my locations. The 20 list. 27. Calculate. Okay, so apparently I can't concentrate on more than one thing at a time. So we have like 27 trees. A few of them have yet to be planted. We had our first frost last night that we were not prepared for. And hopefully nothing died in the new baby winter garden. And Lord willing, if it did, He will still let all of our little seeds germinate, and hopefully they'll be a little bit more resistant than the tender baby plants we bought, the starters. Then again, it could totally be the other way around. Oh, I guess I did need to open that. Dang it. Oh, yeah, don't mind that I'm working while I talk. So, basically, taking a day at a time. My mom passed. She has a big estate, not like financially, but she had a lot of stuff. which, you know, some of that is financially valuable and useful. And a lot of the projects us kids are going to be doing at the farm are going to be using those materials and such. And kind of finishing the projects she'd always bug Jerry to do. And now he'll have help doing those things. Which is a good thing. And so we have all of her stuff to go through. She had like 3 houses over my lifespan. And it seemed like her circumstances always ended up where like she just left. She didn't actually pack up and move out. So yeah, got a lot of stuff to go through. And then, you know, I'm gonna have a lot more free time now that I'm divorcing. So hopefully that eats up a lot of my loneliness. Just because, like, we got married and we moved to Colorado and it was just us in this little, like, 800 square foot apartment. I say that now. Now I'm living in, like, half of that space in my loft. Or not my loft. It has a loft. I think what I'll do is I'm going to rewatch this when I'm sober and like, okay, yeah, that was something I actually did want to talk about. Let's add that in. Let's redo that.